Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Worldwide Wrestling role-playing game exhibition series. The Journeyman's Cup tournament is what we're considering here tonight. Worldwide Wrestling is a role-playing game of professional wrestling action. Recently successfully kickstarted. Thank you very much to the awesome 400 plus people who backed. You guys are great, and I have a number of them with me tonight to go ahead and play out the next step in this rapidly growing saga. We'll say we're going to try and make it a saga over time. So awesome. So we have two, or we currently have one, and we may have a surprise guest in a little bit, returning characters from the last episode. And then we have 3 new additions to the roster. So we are going to, as this is still intended to be a resource for people who are interested about the game or interested in the game to learn a little bit more and kind of follow us along as we play. I'm going to be calling out mechanical features as we go and kind of paying attention to trying to make sure that you guys know what we are talking about. So we have 3 new wrestlers who are joining for this episode, and we're going to go ahead and do the initial heat questions for them. And this is how it works in an ongoing game. If you have people who are dropping in and out, who can only attend some sessions or who want to just play one or whatever, when you have a new wrestler come in, you, like in the first episode, you go around and ask those questions to build those initial heat relationships, but it's just for the new characters. The extant characters kind of already have stuff in motion, and so they'll kind of pick up more as we go along. But yeah, so we're just going to go through and introduce the new characters real quick, and we are going to start with Adams.
All right. I'm playing Jesse the Blind Man Simons. On the way into the ring, I wear a black blindfold and a black boxer's robe with an occult psychedelic patch in red, green, and gold. And when I get into the ring and I take that blindfold and that cloak off, I've got black eyeliner and contacts that make one eye look solid red and the other one solid green. I'm bald. Kind of my gimmick is that I can see the future since I'm blind, and my gimmick is the provocateur.
Great. That's going to be weird. I'm excited. The provocateur is one of the season 1 gimmicks that are available to my Kickstarter backers and my Patreon patrons and supporters. So if you're coming to this late, sorry. They get a set of 5 kind of limited edition gimmicks for now until the game is released. Just see them in play.
Quick question. If you were to say like one real life wrestler that the provocateur is kind of like, who would that be?
He is like Jimmy Jacobs. He's like Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Those are the 2 people I was thinking of when I made it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Cool. So, Jason, who are you bringing to the table tonight?
I want to unmute my microphone. I'm bringing Professor Otomo, the headmaster of heavyweights, the maestro of musculature, the atomic academic. He is from the Veteran Playbook, hailing from Cambridge, Massachusetts. And so Professor Otomo is coming out of retirement for an unprecedented 5th time because he believes that today's wrestlers need to be properly schooled in the sweet science of wrestling. Generally speaking, out of the ring, he has horn-rimmed glasses and a pipe and a tweed suit, but in the ring, he's got kind of old-school wrestling pants with a kind of modified atomic symbol on them. It's a little bit of a know-it-all, but he's a good guy. And, yeah.
He's ready to school some of these youngsters on the proper
That's right.
wrestling science. That's Sweet.
It's
Cool. And our last new character is Rohit.
Yes, I am playing Bolt Bradshaw, the hotshot new high flyer from out of Little Rock, Arkansas. His theme is mostly about being fast and lightning. He doesn't wear a mask like Lucha Libre wrestlers, but he does have a face paint on that looks like a lightning bolt like going across his face, and his pants are like sparkly yellow with blue lightning bolts also emblazoned across them. And he doesn't wear a shirt to wrestle. And he's all about energy and running and high flying.
All right. Well, that will be very exciting. Electrifying, if you will.
Yeah.
And so who to introduce any new viewers, Matthew, can you tell us about your hardcore over there?
Sure. I'm playing Razor Jackson. I'm using the hardcore gimmick. The way I have him picture is sort of a tall, lanky Midwest kid, probably 24, 25. I think last time I said he had like cut off jean shorts and a wife beater. Since this is probably a different town, he's still wearing cut off jean shorts, but he probably has some weird, either like really underground or local metal band T-shirt that has some really crazy name and all crazy metal T-shirts. You know what happens on those.
Does he wear different gear for does he have a different little piece that he does for different places?
No, I think he tries to get something local from there. Since we're since we're doing the touring wrestling thing, he probably goes to the punk show the night before and gets a shirt from that to just sort of play up the audience that little bit.
Cool.
But it's mostly the same kind of stuff. He wears black worker boots, any various collection of pads depending on how hard he fought last night, and he has a shaved head on the sides, and he's starting to grow it forward, kind of like that guy from Misfits. It's not in a point yet. It just kind of goes long in the front. He saw some guy at a show, and he was like, "That looks pretty awesome."
Nice. Very cool. And with perfect timing, we are joined by our other returning talent, the Reaper, played by Strash. I know you just sat down, but do you mind giving us a quick overview for any new viewers?
All right, testing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So the Reaper is the monster gimmick, and he is a heel, so he is a bad guy. He's this huge monstrosity of a dude, has dreadlocks, and usually has skull face paint on. And he plays up the weird and the mysterious. He has minions, which is folks dressed up in black skin suits with skeletons drawn on them. They're referred to as the Bones. His loot is the Crossbones, and he's a huge monster. Claims not to be competing to actually get the belt, but just to put more notches on his very own. He's a big scary guy.
He's just in it for the devastation.
Yeah, absolutely, totally heel move.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, we're going to do Heat for the new characters. The existing characters, you can just kind of sit back and answer questions. You're not going to pick up any new ones from this procedure. So we will go in reverse order, and starting with Rohit and Bolt Bradshaw. So there are, I can count, there are 4 other players.
Yep.
So you're actually going to ask all 4 of the questions, and
Okay.
every gimmick has their own different list of questions. You're going to ask one. Someone will volunteer to answer, and there can be some discussion if people want to volunteer or figure out who makes most sense. And then on Bradshaw's sheet, I'm going to call him Bolt. Bolt's sheet.
Yeah. He goes by Bolt.
We'll add 1 heat with whoever answers the question.
Yeah. Okay.
When you call him Bradshaw, he makes me think of Terry Bradshaw with a big lightning bolt on his face.
Well, makes me think of JBL, who's
Who's not a high flyer by any
not
means.
a high flyer. So that's why I'm going to avoid that, because otherwise I'll just have the wrong picture in my head.
Yeah. I was channeling a little bit of Rey Mysterio and a little bit of like Evan Bourne.
Yeah,
Something like that. All right. So my first question is, who mentored me when I first?
I can do it.
I think did we have a little mute thing there? Sorry, I might have.
Yeah, something may have cut out.
Cool. Yeah, what's the, sorry, so could you repeat the question? I think you cut out.
My question is, who first mentored me who mentored me when I first joined this roster? When I was the new guy.
I'll actually volunteer for that, because while in the ring, the Reaper is this like monstrosity and can injure people and so on and so forth. He's actually really cool, sort of like behind the scenes. He still keeps his persona and like speaks in character and stuff, like at least like while the cameras are around.
Okay.
But yeah, he's actually like really supportive of newcomers and absolutely like pro helping people out and getting them into business. He's actually a little bit anti-establishment and kind of wants to like get the new guys more exposure and stuff like that. And doesn't have as much respect for the old crew as.
Right. If I remember right, I think last time you also spoke out for Brainbird, right?
That is correct. And so I felt this is in character for me.
Yeah. So the Reaper is just like, okay, so you're just like pulling up the new guys. That's cool.
He's a team player.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Reaper's the guy that at the donut table's like, hey, are you new? What's going on?
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah, when the biggest guy comes up, like, who are you?
Are you gonna eat that donut?
I think in the interest of keeping things moving, we'll go around and just do one question each. So we'll go to Jason.
Okie dokie. I've got who did I step all over to get where I am?
Anyone like to volunteer to be the one that the veteran pushed down to get to his exalted position?
I mean, I'll volunteer for that. I mean, maybe like I was in the squash matches with you earlier, like we had a series of matches where you just squashed me over and over and over again.
Do you not hold with this newfangled high flying business?
It's not real wrestling, by God. Get down on the mat where you belong.
This is lucha, whatever you call it, in the words of. Won't bring that in.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Great.
So sure, you stepped all over me.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Cool. So Adams, what is a question off your sheet?
Who helped me to get where I am now?
And so to fill that in a little bit, the provocateur is kind of like very showy and has a lot of like, screen time and stuff like that. So where you are now is, in front of cameras is kind of the intent of that.
I'll say that was me. And Adam, stop me if you don't like anything I'm saying. Like maybe Blind Man was like just some local wrestler we picked up in a town, and maybe you had a sort of a gimmick. It wasn't as strong as it was now, and I was just like, no man, you have to go all in on it. Like you've got this crazy eye thing going on. I love it. Like wear a blindfold, get a cape, get some crazy light stuff going. They eat it up.
Sure, I like that.
He used to just wear the 3D glasses, and you pushed him further.
No, just be fully blind, like it's a straight shot. You'll just walk down there. It'll be all right.
Great. Cool. We'll go back to Bolt.
Who always has my back?
Is it alright if I take 2 in a row?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that Bolt and Razor in the ring would actually be a pretty cool tag team.
Oh yeah, especially with your chair and like the high flying moves.
Yeah, like it's an interesting sort of like crossbreed thing where you're high flying and I'm hardcore, and it's like a 2-for-1 match.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. All right, back to Professor Atomo.
All right, so my next question is, who is my protege?
Actually, I think it's me, because you think I can barely wrestle, and you've taken it upon yourself to teach me.
Nice.
Crazy eyes will only take you so far. All right. Works.
Cool. So does that sync up with one of your questions, Adams?
Maybe it does. Who thinks I'm all smoke and no fire?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I could swing that. I mean, if you got the protege thing going on, and I am properly trying to school you, then it's all flash right now.
Okay.
Learn the moves, work the mat.
So you're viewing it as kind of the motivation for you to take them under your wing.
Yep.
That's cool. That means you have heat with each other because of it, which is nice.
He comes out and has this crazy thing, and Atomo's just like, no. That's not how you do that. You put him in a chokehold.
Right.
That's a classic chokehold.
You need more side headlocks in your moveset.
Side headlocks are the greatest move.
You need more atomic drops. I mean, oh god.
You need to master the drop kick. If you can master the drop kick, everything else will follow.
You stop dives to the outside. I know they're trendy now, but if you can really nail it, it'll do well in the future. Cool. Well, speaking of suicide dives, we will go back to Bolt.
Yeah, speaking of mastering the dropkick, who's ripping off my style?
Pretty sure that's Blind Man on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we
it
cool
could
with
be.
that, Adams?
Yeah, we've both got bright colors in our faces. We've both got...
You're the only two guys I could see wearing a cape.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm not wearing one yet, but I do have a robe.
Keep it
now
classy.
now that I think about it, my gimmick is dangerously close to Hurricane.
That's okay. Hey, Hurricane came up last time, and I'm on record as being a Hurricane fan. So.
Oh, he was a cool guy.
Cool. So, are you, Adams? Are you seeing that as mostly his visual style, or are you like also?
Yeah, I think it's like up until I joined this promotion, he was pretty much like the flashiest guy out there. But now I'm about equally flashy, and like.
Oh, and I've taken quite a
was
beating.
the flashy one.
And I took quite a beating from when Professor Atomo squashed me to get where he is. So.
That's true. Yeah, it was like a kind of a natural cycle. You kind of were out of it a little bit right when the blind man arrived. Cool. Well, speaking of Professor Atomo, what's next?
Sorry, didn't realize it was my turn already. Who is undercutting me?
What's your shtick?
Professor Atomo is a veteran. His general shtick is he's come out of retirement for the 5th time to properly teach how to wrestle to these youngsters.
What exactly does undercutting mean in the context here?
Yeah, that was my concern.
I mean, that one is pointed a little more towards backstage. Kind of like who's like, so the veteran, has kind of a lot of pull.
That's fake.
Because they've been around for.
Yeah, I was. If you didn't say trust, I was gonna say.
It's totally Strauss.
Especially when you were like, it's backstage. I'm like, oh, yep.
Yeah, because the professor is like, yes, this is how it's
Strauss!
done Friday. And I'm like, yeah, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. That's not how it's done anymore, old man.
We don't need any of your side headlocks around here.
You want an arm bar? I'll one-arm you.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense.
Why do you need such a big budget? What's with all the people? I don't know.
Back in my day, everyone wore different colored trunks. One light over the ring.
Yep.
Loved it.
I wore red. The other guy wore green.
And
easy.
fought.
All right, back to the blind man. What's
All
next?
right. So, who is trying to steal my approach?
Oh, it would be interesting if that was me, because you're trying to steal my moves, and I'm trying to steal your showiness.
You guys have like a little rivalry going on?
Yeah, just like we're just playing off one another, kind of professionally.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, maybe Bolt's like a really good wrestler, but he had like a half costume, and Blind Man saw Bolt's success and was like, I need a costume. And then he got super far into the costume, and now Bolt's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, when I came in, I wasn't Bolt at all. Like, I was just like some guy. I was like Eric Bradshaw, and they were like, oh, and then I was a good wrestler, but I had nothing going for me. Yeah, so then like I started doing this after seeing the blind man thing really take off.
Okay.
Cool.
It's interesting that both the heels actually have proteges, and we're teaching them our respective styles and trying to...
That's good.
Yeah, we're eating this up. We're like, oh,
It's a battle for the ages.
Cool. I believe, do we have one more question, or was that the last one?
I have one more question, because we do have 4 other players.
Yes.
I do too.
Go ahead.
My last question is, who wishes they could do what I do?
I wish I could do what you do.
Wait, I thought you were already ripping off my style, but is that also like you wish you could do what I do?
Yeah, I definitely wish I could do what you do. Like,
That's why you're
being
ripping
taught
off.
technical wrestling, like old school wrestling. But what I wish I could do was all those flips.
Okay, cool. Man, I already have notched with you like 3 heat.
Yeah, you guys are ready to explode.
Yeah, that's good though.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jason.
All right. Who has no respect for all the work I put into this company?
Yo!
I'm noticing some alignment here.
So I looked away for a moment. Was that Razor or Reaper there?
I think we both raised our hands.
Take your pick, old man.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what. I'll put down Razor just because I don't have him down for anything, and he's hardcore. So,
My
he's
day
like
we
the
didn't have
prop-
chairs. We
No,
brought
you're
chairs,
like the
you sat
prop-
on them.
You're the prop comic of wrestling. You're the carrot top. We got no room for that.
So you also don't respect
The
him.
match coming on here.
Cool, and I believe that means that Adams is finishing us out.
Yep. Who marks out for me, even though we're peers backstage?
So, marking out to translate for non-wrestling lingo, is who's a big fan, who's like, oh my god, this guy's so awesome, even though, like, you guys obviously see each other, work together, whatever, but sometimes there's still that kind of starstruck relationship.
In my
Who's
case,
like,
it could
"You're
also
actually-
be like finding me creepy, because like there's definitely some creepy stuff in my gimmick.
I'll say it's me. Since I helped you like cultivate your image, it backfired. You went off like this complete left turn, and I'm like, I don't know anymore, man. And you're always coming to me. You're like, no, that was good, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, yeah. Oh, what's going on over here? No, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, so you're like wow, you really are hitting this out of the park.
Yeah,
Like the intention of the question.
Mhm.
yeah.
Awesome. Um, cool. Well, then that's the mechanical business at the top of the show. Excellent. We have some heat. Some
+1 for heals versus
Heels
babyface.
and faces, yeah.
yes. So everyone who's a face take 1 heat with the heals and vice versa.
Right.
I'm not entirely clear on who's a heal and who's a babyface. I am a heal.
Oh, you're a heel. I'm a babyface.
Okay.
I'm also a heel. So can you just give me the names of the baby faces
I'm
real
also
fast?
babyface.
Okay, the baby faces are. I have it written down here and I can't find it. Okay, the baby faces are Professor Atomo and Razor and Bolt are the 3 faces.
Mhm.
Does my heat with Razor change this match? Do I get a +1 for him being a face again?
No, that's only for
Okay.
for new people basically.
Is that
So
just to make sure, even if you don't answer a question, you're more than likely to have a +1 with most people at the table?
yes, pretty much.
Mhm.
So that yeah, no one ends up with 0, like with everyone. Like there will be varying levels. Yes, and also if you make so yeah, you do that at the beginning when you like introduce characters, and then if someone makes a you'll turn or a face turn, then the one who made the turn takes a heat with what they
Everybody
just
else.
turned from. So one of the ways to gain more heat if you need it. Um, awesome. So we are entering episode 2 of the um, Journeyman's Cup tournament. So the Journeyman's Cup is awarded in an annual tournament in the Worldwide Wrestling promotion. Um, it is a bracketed tournament, so we're playing through rounds. Winners go on to the next round, etc. As we are currently standing, Reaper is the only character in play that has won their first bracket match, who defeated Brainberg at the end of the last episode and is on to the next round. Everyone else has been entered into the tournament, but we obviously haven't done matches yet. Whoever holds the Journeyman's Cup can challenge for any of the championship belts, but generally are challenging for the Pan-Oceanic Worldwide Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, the POW belt. Unlike something like a Money in the Bank, this is something where you issue a challenge and it's like becomes a scheduled, sanctioned match. So there's no running in, cashing in on someone who's already down kind of thing. It's kind of intended, the whole aura around it is it's a little more sportsmanlike and a little more uh, athletic competition-y is kind of the intention. Also, whoever holds the Tournament's Cup can be challenged for it by anyone else in the company after they've won the tournament. And so that's the other wrinkle is that part of the drama comes in of do you cash it in right away while you still have it, or are you the guy who can take any challenger and is waiting for the perfect opportunity? So that's all the business about like what this tournament's all about. And then once it's used for that championship shot, it's gone until the next year's tournament. So those are the rules, such as it is, which obviously are sometimes adhered to and sometimes not so much, depending on what's going on, storylines, etc. But that's the framework that we're working in. Awesome. And for anyone who didn't watch the last episode, we had the main event was originally going to be sorry, I'm looking at my notes, so I'm not looking at the screen. Was originally going to be Reaper versus Razor, but there was a mid-show rejiggering, and the general manager turned it into Brainberg, the jobber character, had run in on Razor during his initial match, and due to that was then moved into that main event slot versus Reaper. Kind of a little bit of punishment, a little bit of oh, you guys are scheduled down the road anyway, so we'll just go ahead and do that slot now. So that's the backstory having to do with the characters that we have returning. Cool. Are there any questions from you guys before we get rolling?
No, I'm good.
I see a bunch of shaking heads. Excellent. All right. I'm going to take a 2-minute break to get some water and make sure that I have what I actually need in front of me here. And then we're going to get going. So we'll take a couple minutes, and we will be right back.
I'll be right back as well. So how's it going, Adams? Guess we're the only two people here. Have you played this before, or is this your first time?
This is my first time play. I'm also like only 2 weeks into watching wrestling, so.
Yeah, I stopped watching for a long time. Like I used to watch 90s, early 2000s, and then I stopped watching for a while, and I recently started watching again.
Yeah, I quit early 90s, but I've started to get back into it. I think you can appreciate it more if you're older. Like you can appreciate more of it.
Yeah, it's very different when I watch it now compared to when I used to watch it.
As a kid, you're just like, oh, you hit that guy with a chair.
I know.
That's awesome.
It was also really different. Yeah, it was really different. And I whenever I listen to like wrestling discussions, they're like, "Oh, Attitude Era was where." I was like, "Well, you're probably just younger then." It was different.
It's funny. You start appreciating different things, right, over time. Because I didn't start watching wrestling until I was in college. Actually, my roommate got me into it. So, and it was kind of not a great time in WWE, which is what we were watching, or mid 2000 or like 2006-ish, 2004.
Yeah, that's when it started going downhill quite quickly.
Yeah, it was not really a great time, but there was stuff I really liked, and then I was kind of out of it, and I got back into it, and then, working on the game, has gotten me even more into it.
So you're watching all the old stuff on the network now?
Yeah, so I'm watching a lot of old stuff, and which is funny. I've actually not seen a lot of the Attitude Era stuff, other than like the really big, like kind of iconic, like, I don't know, moments.
The Undertaker, Mankind, and things like that.
Yeah,
the MSL match.
Austin, Hart, all that stuff. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of 80s stuff. Also, just because a lot of my like wrestling friends are more into older stuff, so
Right, right.
um, so like a lot of like 80s NWA and early WCW and stuff, and it's like there's stuff about that that I like so much, but a lot of it's also really boring.
Mhm.
But like watching a lot of that and then thinking about wrestling from kind of like a systematic, kind of like how does it work? Like
Mhm.
not that I know how wrestling works. I'm not a wrestler. Like I'm not inside in any way, but like as a fan watching it and being like, how
How
do
does the entertainment? Yeah,
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 how do
yeah.
people get into it? How do guys get over? Um, makes me appreciate stuff differently
Mhm.
than when I was first watching. Just because like I kind of know more and I'm like, oh, when that's like when the heel starts slowing down a match, like that's not because they're boring. It's because they're trying to get booed because that's their job.
Right.
Like that's what
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
the match, that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting transition once you start kind of paying attention to stuff that you like. I don't
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
know. All right, looks like we're all back from our interlude. Uh, cool. So we're gonna start off the show with a couple pre-taped little, um, not really vignettes, just like little promos. And these aren't mechanical. We're not going to roll dice. But for our the new characters joining us who have, been officially entered into the tournament, they did a whole day of backstage tapings where everyone just did a little like, you know, little promo about being in the tournament, why it's important to you, why you're going to win, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So I'm going to go back to the three of you to go ahead and just give us a little to the camera promo. Um, I consider him a bit of a ringer, so I'm going to go to Jason first. Um, I've been on the business end of a couple of his promos. So we'll have you start out and kind of get us going. Um, But this is just
All
like
right.
a little pre-tape thing that they're showing before the intro credits for this episode. So
All right. I'm sorry for the feedback that keeps showing up. I'm doing my best to keep it muted when I'm not talking. So, all right. Oh, hello. Professor Atamo here. I know what you're wondering. Why did I come out of retirement yet another time? It's the Journeyman's Cup. It belongs to me. I was the first person to ever win it. I will probably be the last. I will be here long after the rest of you are gone. The other wrestlers, they have something. I don't know what it is. Not wrestling. And I think it's about time they learned. And they will be schooled in the sweet art of wrestling by Professor Atamo. He's a little more understated than some of my other guys.
right, no, it's good. I'm
But I
I'm
think I'll stop there.
I'm envisioning that I'm envisioning that he's one of those guys with like the giant, like he's clearly built and in shape and strong, but with like the giant gut, right? Um, Kind of like pushing out the singlet kind of thing. I don't know if he's in his ring attire for this or if he's
Only
like
a little bit.
nice.
Oh, that's it. He's still in his tweed right there. So he's got the glasses and all of his professor stuff. And there's like a map behind him. He's got his book handy. It's good times.
Excellent. Uh, cool. Do we have a volunteer for our next little promo?
I'll go.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I am looking off into the distance at an angle to the camera as if I don't exactly know where it is. And I am saying, why do I want to win the Journeyman's Cup? Well, dangerous things are coming. Dangerous things are coming to Worldwide Wrestling. And the one who has that cup, has power. I have seen that the one who has that cup, they have the power to defend Worldwide Wrestling from what's coming. And quite frankly, none of the rest of you can be trusted with that power, with that cup. And that's why I am going to take it. I will have the foresight to know how to use it.
Nice. And do you have the bandana or
Blindfold.
whatever over your eyes?
Yeah, I do have the blindfold on right now.
Blindfold. You always have that, except when you're in the ring.
Yes, that is correct.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, cuts from that. There's some kind of weird, like creepy, like faint music behind you during it. I think they amp it up a little bit for your stuff, right? They do a little like atmospheric business. Cool. Then we cut to Bolts.
Yeah, so when Bolt's promo starts, it's actually just a camera focusing on a black screen. And then there's a bolt of lightning, and then, like, I'm there. So they do editing backstage. I'm like, they say lightning never strikes the same place twice. And you all know last year when I was here, and I was in the Journeyman's Cup Championship, and I climbed that ladder, and then I failed. And then people said, you can't do it again. Well, I'm here to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to get the Journeyman's Cup. And then I am going to be the POW champion. And then the lightning goes again and I'm gone.
Nice. I like it. Awesome. So yeah, there's that like lightning flash and you're gone. And then that's when they bring up the audience noise and the cheering crowd noise of the live audience, and they go to the ringside announcers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome yet again to another exciting, action-filled episode of Worldwide Wrestling, coming to you live tonight from somewhere that I wrote down. I forgot. Coming to you live tonight from Atlanta, Georgia. We are super excited to be here for the another night of the first round of the Journeyman's Cup tournament. As you heard, some of our exciting stars have their sights set on this it's really a testament to their athletic ability and their dedication to the sport of wrestling. And as you can hear, and so they have like the cheering crowds and like they're playing a little intro package on the Titantron and stuff, and crowd's very excited. We're all very excited to get to the action tonight. But before we get to the Journeyman's Cup, we're hearing that there's something going on backstage. We're going to take you there when we cut backstage. So what we're doing here is they've set up a little vignette for Razor and Reaper backstage. Now, if we remember from last time, you guys were originally scheduled to have a tournament match, and then it got all messed up and whatever. So how do we, when we cut to the backstage area, how are you two interacting, I guess? And production-wise, they're like, all right, guys, you guys have 10 minutes, figure out what you guys are doing. So that you had a couple minutes, like, kind of figure out what your deal is going to be. But we'll just kind of roll with the what you guys might have in mind. Does that make sense?
Hey Razor, do you want to start out with you putting on your get up and getting ready for the match, and then I'll totally roll in and essentially we'll kind of get in each other's faces, and then you cut a promo and I cut a promo.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do it.
Be very basic.
I like the idea that that I'm just coming out of the locker room, and I know I was supposed to wrestle you last time, and so I figure you're looking out for me. So I've got my chair, and I'm sort of like,
Okay, cool. So
all right, I don't see him. And as soon as I go out, I start backing up, and I'm back into you.
We managed to bring a fog machine back there, so the fog rolls in, which is part of my intro.
Yeah. Okay. So we cut backstage, and we just have the camera on the locker room door, and it opens. Razor comes out, and you have the chair. So we kind of, we pull back. You come out. You're looking around, right? And then from off camera, you see the fog starting to swirl in and start to swirl up, and then we have the thing where the camera kind of suddenly just jerks up, and Reaper's standing there, with a backlight behind him, so he's all shadowed.
Standing above me,
Yeah. Reaper, do you have something to say? Or are you gonna?
I think I'm turning up the spook to 11, but I'm actually looking for you to give me a throw your best at me, give me your speech. I'll do the follow up.
Okay. So you startle me, so I drop the chair, and I'm kind of God, why? Why are you always being scary like that? Man, why can't we just get in the ring and wrestle? Look, we're gonna wrestle, all right? And I'm gonna beat you, cause that's what I do. I'm the best. So you're back here, you're trying to play your mind games, you're trying to get in here, but there's nothing in here. There's nothing for you to get at. I'm gonna get you out there. We're gonna get in the ring, and I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, and that's all that's gonna happen.
So Reaper kind of leans in and he says, "You think you can take me? You think you can take me?" And then he totally lets out this massive deep baritone, "You, all you have is your puny chair." And he picks it up and he just bends it right in front of the camera.
Oh, my mama gave me that.
"Want in the ring? I will break you, little man."
Awesome. Sounds to me like you're demonstrating your extraordinary strength there. So.
I kind of am. Well, actually, one of the things that I was trying to go for is, since we're both kind of cutting these short little promos.
Yeah.
One of the things that I do is I have the move Intimidating, where I use power instead of look outside of the ring. So.
Okay. It's kind of up to you. Was bending the chair just kind of part of your overall deal, or was that the focus of your interaction was to demonstrate how strong you are?
I think that's actually the focus. You're probably right, because I think the whole point is that Razor's gimmick is that he's the hardcore and he always walks around with the chair. So I think that bending it is extremely symbolic, which is kind of the point.
Cool. So so those are two different moves: cutting a promo or performing a feat of strength. So we're going to go ahead and do the feat of strength for you. Obviously, Razor was cutting a promo as you were, telling us what you thought and furthering your feud. So they are. I mean, you can both go ahead and roll, and we'll just kind of do them in the order that you made them. I don't think they really necessarily affect each other. So go ahead and roll, Matthew, for cut a promo, and you're rolling plus look.
Ooh, that is a 7.
Okay. Could be worse. Could be worse. Cool. So you pick one. I mean, you're already booked in this match, but you could book you in, another match or something else that would make sense in this situation. You can go ahead and add a stipulation to the match. You can gain 1 momentum, or you can gain a heat with Josh.
I wanna get a heat.
Nice. So you guys are getting fired up here.
Yeah, we're totally getting each other's faces.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So, Strash, what was your result for feat of strength?
So I rolled a 7, but my power is 3, so that's a 10. And I display this ferocious feat of strength, and on a 10, I get to pick one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take +2 momentum.
You do it easily. You do not even break a sweat bending this chair in half. Nice. So yeah. So Razor, how do you react when he bends your chair in half? And just.
I imagine the camera just sort of focused on me for a second. I'm like, oh, my mommy gave me that chair.
Nice.
That's it.
Cool. So they cut back to the ring, and the ring announcer goes ahead and starts to introduce Razor. So what does your entrance look like again?
I should have found like a specific cut of music. It was something like Andrew WK's Party.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone else on the thread mentioned Dragon Force. Something like that. Something loud and energetic. And it probably changes every couple months when you find some new band on YouTube. He gets a little bit of pyro because he's a face. So he comes out with the chair and he just sort of hoists it up and he gets some pyro behind him. And he makes his way down to the ring. And when he's the first one out, he plants the chair in the middle of the ring, unfolds it, and sits down and stares down the walkway.
So he's bringing out a new chair. He always has a chair.
Yeah, this one's probably like a green one.
He's not bringing out the bench chair.
No, he just grabbed one that they had sitting there, like some guy was gonna sit in. Just like, no, I need this.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cool. So you say your music kind of is thundering. What's your audience at this point?
My audience, if I remember correctly, is still just a +1. I don't remember gaining any audience.
I think Reaper's the only one who went up last.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so you're in the ring. Your music kind of starts quieting down, and that's when the fog rolls in. So,
Oh yeah, Reaper's entrance music is Blue Oyster Cult's "Don't Fear the Reaper," which sounds like it's contradictory, but happens to be his shtick. And yeah, there's the whole fog machine going, and they've got the bones dancing, and he comes down the walkway and he does his whole thing where he points at plants at the audience, and as he's getting booed and people fall over, and yeah, he's gonna come up to the ring and basically start walk in and in complete dismissal of his opponent, turn his back to him and give the salute to the four corners to those fans that he does have out there.
Nice. And you're at 2 audience now, or
3 actually. Brandberg put me over.
Oh right. Yeah. So you get a huge you don't get a cheer you get a heel pop. You get a lot of noise. You get a lot of boos. But there's people who think you're cool, right? You have that kind of cool mystique to you. So you when you do the this, there's kind of like a little from whichever corner you're pointing towards. Pretty cool. Awesome. We are going. So how the wrestling matches work, to recap, is one of you is going to start off with narrative control or control of the match, and I think in this context, I think Strash actually will start with control, because more audience, more momentum. You made that big statement. You come down. So I'll narrate through a sequence leading up to a big spot and make the wrestling move, and see if it changes control or how it complicates the match. So there's also someone who's going to be the announcer for the match.
I volunteer.
Yes, I was going to say Jason, I think, would be a great announcer. And so what the announcer does is help. In this case, I'm also kind of announcing on commentary, as well as just kind of keeping things moving. But we're going to kind of recap the action, talk about how cool everything is, and then Jason, as the announcer, has the power to put over either of the talent in the ring and bump their die roll up a success band. So when and if that comes up, we will get to it. But that is one of his jobs. You guys who are not currently involved, you're welcome to also, throw in like announcy bits if you want to, throw another cool little detail in there or whatever. There's also on the moves sheet, the basic move sheet, there is the run-in move, which I will call out as the if you want to get your character involved in the situation and perform a run-in, you can do that. You know. On the player level, you don't need to like clear or fictionally, you don't need to like clear that with anyone or whatever. Your character can run in, interfere with the match, and we'll go from there if you feel moved to do so. Yeah, so those are kind of the things in play. Yeah, we'll get to the match. So they ring the bell, and we have Strash starting off with control. So what do you do?
So what is our relationship like backstage? Like, are we just like professionally, sort of equal? Do we have any sort of rivalry? How do we feel about each other?
I figure you don't like me a little bit, because we've established you have that relationship with Brainberg, so you probably think I'm like a bit of a corporate mouthpiece.
Well, and you also, I have a note from the last time that you're terrified of Reaper, but you can stand up to him in the ring. That was
right.
One of the things.
So I think what happens is after Reaper is done, he turns around and he does this bit, and feel free to stop me or correct me. I'm okay if you're not down with this, but he's totally gonna come barreling at you, like you're still sitting in that chair, but when he turns around and comes at you, it's like even beyond like. You guys were scripted where he was going to come up and then he was going to like do a little skit with you where you're supposed to like hit him with the chair and he's supposed to like use his strength to just basically resist it, like not be daunted. But he comes barreling at you like super fast. Like basically you realize that there's this like mass of humanity coming at you and he's basically trying to get you to flinch and like tip the chair backwards, and just wants to like essentially use that as like the opener, like basically make you flinch, do his laugh, and then let you kind of wail on him for a while and just not take damage for a bit. Is that cool?
No, I'm totally cool with that. That's such a great heel move. Just like I fall over backwards on the chair and sort of jump up, like, huh? Oh.
Yeah, and then as he's doing the laugh, he's purposefully like just leaving himself open so that like you can like smash him a couple of times and he'll just be like ah ha ha ha. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use my size and intimidating strength to basically take hits that would drop lesser people and like stand there for a bit to try and like build up some heat here.
Awesome. So real quick, Matthew, have you made this a hardcore match?
No.
Or no? Okay. As that's one of your things you can do. Cool. So you can have the chair, but once you like raise it, then the ref comes over and like pulls out of your hand, right? Because this is a normal match. That would be a disqualification for you to go after him with the chair. So maybe while he's like, I'm envisioning like while he's taking it and he's turning and like handing it to someone outside of the ring. Maybe you go over and you pull another chair out of the other side.
No purpose.
Has been set up, so you can whack him a couple times while the ref's back is turned.
You're like, all right, you go handle this chair. All right, it's a good thing I got my second chair.
Right. So you get that spot in, but then you like have to throw the chair away before the ref turns back around, right, and like get on with the match. Cool. So, Strash, sounds like you are rolling on power. You are. Was that what you're going for your wrestling move?
Yeah. Sorry, my dice didn't clear, but I rolled a 4 and a 3, which is a 7. My power is 3, so that's a 10.
Jeez.
You are incredibly stoic.
I just imagine I'm just like what the? Why won't you? And maybe I go for like a drop kick or something. And just nothing.
All right, so
off his chest.
I think I am going to take 2 more momentum, and then I'm gonna shift into a move. So this is supposed to be like where I kind of like as you go to swing one more time, I sort of like grab you and pick you up and hold you like over my head, and then kind of do a drop grab, and I sort of turn around to the different corners of the audience, and I'm kind of pointing out and being like, "Do you want to see me break this guy? Yeah, yeah. How about you? Do you want to see me break?" And so like I'm kind of building it up a little bit with the audience. I'm like trying to get them into the match, and then probably just gonna do like a drop. So that is that.
Yeah, you just like a slam where you just drop and just like throw his whole body down on there.
I try to like bounce off the ropes. I'm like, maybe I just need a little more power, and you just grab me like it's nothing.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you're pointing out and working the crowd is what it sounds like to me. What are we saying on commentary there, Jason? How's this looking from the sidelines?
Professor Atamo here, talking about the Journeyman Cup. Now, I'll tell you, both of these wrestlers bring something. Reaper Man brings incredible strength and fortitude. Razor, a little bit less so, but he does have a certain amount of athleticism, even if he lacks something in the way of skill. Now, the problem here is that he's going to toe-to-toe with him. Look at him! Look at... No, you fool! Oh! That is extremely painful! And if only he had followed my 10-step easy lessons to proper wrestling technique, available on VHS. I know it's a little out of date, but if only he had followed that, then he would have been more capable of wrestling.
Now, our viewers might want to know that those lessons are available on the World Wide Wrestling website for digital download. But regardless,
yes, it is on the interwebs.
Manhandling this poor Razor in the ring. But it sounds like that whole thing was basically working the audience, right, Josh?
Yeah. Let me give it a roll.
Yeah, roll plus audience.
7, 8, 9. So 7 to 9.
Yep.
When you work
for your poor treatment of poor Razor. Yeah, more momentum. You're already in control of the match, so.
Well, actually, I'm gonna pass it off to him. Like at this point, like I kind of like after I drop him and he's kind of stumbling, I'm gonna actually play up to the crowd, right? Like so, like I'm doing my crossbones. I'm sort of ignoring him and standing up on a rope, and so I give him the sign, like I tap him before I let go to let him know that he's supposed to like now come in and do his shtick. So take it away, Razor.
All right. So when you're up on the ring, you're up on the corner. I come to a bit, and you're on like the second buckle. You're not going crazy about it. But I'm gonna do some crazy high fly move where I jump off the rope and like grab you by the neck and just throw you like down to the mat backwards. And then without even stopping, run to the other rope, bounce off it, and then just do like a swan dive halfway across the ring. I mean, it's a total like speed energy move. And it's kind of not even my style. Like I'm kind of a pugilist for a hardcore guy. Like I'm a get in your face and choke you and punch you and make you hurt. But like I realize that my speed and the size difference is the only way I'm gonna win this match.
Nice. Yeah. So like some kind of like basically a neck breaker, and then you run across and go off and do a big crossbody across the ring or something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So sounds like this is some real wrestling, some real work. So you're going to roll plus work for the wrestling move.
Oh, I'm really not good at this.
If he doesn't get some momentum going, this match may be over before it begins.
Oh, snap.
With my -1, that's still an 11.
Oh my God! Did you see that? Did you see that? There may be a wrestler in there yet.
And the crowd like
Nice.
when you start moving, the crowd's kind of like and then you springboard off into this crossbody, which you never do, right? And it gets the big man off his feet. I'm imagining that like the neck breaker took you down to your knees, maybe, and then like he comes off, and the crossbody is what actually takes you all the way down to the mat. It's awesome. You can gain 2 momentum, or you can gain 1 heat with Reaper.
I'm gonna get 2 momentum.
Build that up.
Cool. So I hit the crossbody. and I sort of stumble away, and I probably have a second. Even I'm shocked that worked. Kind of like, whoa, and I'm gonna like point to the crowd and be like, come on, and do a little like cheap work the crowd for a second.
Yeah, for sure. All right, roll plus audience for working the crowd.
Ooh, that is a 10.
You guys are rolling so well.
Man,
The
I'm
crowd
doing
loves
well.
it.
Bam, bam.
That's 2 more momentum. Jeez. You guys installed the cheater dice.
Yeah, we have the good dice stream.
Tonight. No, it's good. So yeah, this is really. I mean, the crowd's getting like really, really pumped, right? Like, this is it's a serious match. You guys are just like, beating the crap out of each other. So do you retain control? Do you have a follow up to your game? So Reaper's still like down on the mat behind you. I'm envisioning like slowly getting to your feet, right?
So Reaper doesn't usually show pain, but I think what he's going to show is that he's like a little dizzy. So he's like he gets up to his hands and knees, and while you're pumping the crowd, he like almost like stumbles and like weaves a little bit. He's like showing that this actually affected him, trying to play it up a little, right?
Oh, I muted myself there by mistake. I don't know. I don't know if even if it was scripted, I don't know if the Reaper would just take that kind of punishment. I feel like you'd have something awesome to retort on that.
You can put it back over to him.
I mean, we can pass control voluntarily.
Yeah. So I'll probably he works himself to the other side of the ring and he sees your back up. So he's across the ring from you, diagonal wise, and he'll just take off at you.
And I have this feeling that as you're coming at me, maybe I just like slightly, like basically I'm not even looking at you. I kind of do this thing where I close my eyes and sort of like bow my head, and then as you're coming at me, I just take like a side step to the right and like elbow to the face.
Oh.
Is that going to send me into the turnbuckle or to the mat?
Oh, actually, that'd be cool. Like, if you come running towards me and then as I hit you, actually, no, I'm going to see if I can bounce you off the rope so that I can turn around. So basically do like a 1, and then still not looking, like I'm counting the counts that we've like probably practiced, and then I turn around and just like clothesline you. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Harsh.
Hard.
I think that sounds like a pretty big spot to me. Sounds like, are you showcasing your gimmick here, Josh? As just like big, can beat on these guys all day, big clothesline.
Yeah, I think I might be. That sounds good.
You keep letting him roll plus power, Nathan. He's gonna win every time.
He's in the ring. He has to roll up. Intimidating.
Just let me know what I'm rolling with.
You're rolling
plus what?
Plus look.
That's a 9. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to make it a 10.
All right, so our commentary.
Match of all successes.
Yeah, commentators like he just took his head right off. Dear God.
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a heat, which is going to put me at, I believe, 4 heat with Razor.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right? So, like, after I do that combo, are you staying down or are you getting back up? Because I was thinking of trying to build up to, like, the next spot.
So
I imagine I'd be down for at least a little bit.
So you're down, and this is when you guys get the go home to wrap it up, and Razor is actually booked to win this. So,
yeah, I'm gonna spend. I'm a heel, so I'm gonna use my heel move and spend momentum to win the match anyway.
Oh really?
Because are you kidding?
You can do that.
So I think there's this like moment where I sort of like I walk to the edge of the mat, and I get out, and I sort of reach back, and I grab his leg,
Uh-huh.
and I pull him all the way through, and as he's coming out, I sort of like let his legs flop over, and then sort of like pick him up, grab him, and I'm gonna do this like as part of my finisher. It's gonna be reap the whirlwind, haha. So I'm gonna do like a 1-2 and basically try and toss him back in the ring.
Okay.
Is that like, how does that work? Am I rolling a finisher? I'm not really sure on the mechanic here.
Well, okay. So for this, your so when you override my booking, it doesn't trigger your finisher because you weren't booked to win, right? So you're not going to roll for your finisher, but you're going to win the match. Like fictionally, you're going to win the match. So we're just going to narrate it out how you do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it works just fine with me. I'm gonna try and toss him in and clamber in. Do you want to get anything last in before I attempt the pin or whatever?
No,
Are you just
it got
flopping
me.
around like a rag doll?
Yeah, it just like probably right before you toss me, I kind of have that like, what? And I'm gone.
Cool.
All right.
So the question here is, do we have 4 heat with each other at this point?
No, he's one way. So you have 4 heat with me. I only have 2 with you.
All right. Next time.
You will still gain an audience because you worked this match. So okay. So yeah, over on commentary, how's that? How are we reacting to this sudden turn of events? Jason.
Now, this is what I was saying. He got too cocky. And he took it for granted that the man would not be as fast as him. The Reaper is an athlete. You cannot disrespect him, much like you cannot disrespect a professor.
And that's when in the ring the refs counting 1, 2, 3, and yeah, the place just
This is
goes.
a tragic day. Tragic.
Nice. Reaper, what do you do after you get this pin? You just like stand up and leave?
So no, actually, I think Reaper totally like what he's going to do is he's going to go and do his salute and to the corners. But as he does, like the smoke machines pump up a little bit and a couple of his bones come. And this is actually reminiscent of what happened with Brainberg, where his little like cadre of people dressed in the black socks with the bones painted on them will actually drag Razor off and take him up the
right.
Which is where Reaper exits, and sort of like before he leaves, his last thing is he'll do his trademark laugh.
Right, you just get like
audience, like I'll be back for you next, and then
just like just booze from the audience because
I eat booze for breakfast.
People like Razor. He's a scrappy man of the people, and now he's just lying like a dead man.
Now I'm just scraps.
Just scrap getting carried off by bones.
I think on the way out though that Professor Otamo is gonna just talk crap. You're like, I only pity that a real wrestler such as myself was not in the ring with the Reaper. Otherwise, the outcome would have been totally different. I swear to you, there will be justice done.
Do you get a
I think before he leaves, Reaper definitely locks eyes and sort of like points at you and mouths real big like next time.
It's a your next. Geez. Well, yeah. So there's a little moment where you're kind of staring each other down, and then on commentary, like they're just like that was a brutal physical contest. It seems that Razor just didn't even have a chance. Can anyone stop Reaper? Well, look, judging from tonight, maybe not. And that's when and so they cut to commercial, right? It's a broadcast thing. So they got to a commercial, and backstage. Do you guys do we have a moment with Razor and Reaper backstage once you get back?
I was gonna say, like, you've got to do some crazy Reaper stuff, where like you fake reanimate me as a zombie or something.
That was actually the plan. Okay, so is this like on camera?
No. This is like they're getting set up for the next thing.
Oh, okay.
But just like once you guys get backstage, a off-camera moment. You guys.
Awesome. Hey, how do you feel about me totally like ninjaing that match? I wouldn't actually say that, but I'm seeing what your reaction is.
No, I'm cool with it. Like, you're a heel. Like, that's your thing. It sets up later matches. It's cool.
So Reaper totally still in character, right? Because he doesn't leave character until he's like out of like this entire area. It's probably like, you did well out there. I was really worried I was gonna hurt you that time.
I'm just like clutching my neck, just like, yeah, almost.
Next time we should probably practice that finisher a little bit more. But I think we look really good on screen. And like,
yep.
Claps you on the back. He's like, all right, let's do that spot, and they'll set up the stage for the reanimation or whatever, which is going to be a spot some point else.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and so that's when so you guys are talking, and like the guys who are in the bones, like taking off their hoods. Actually, I think one of them is Bolt. Like you're,
Right.
you know, every so often, you know, everyone just needs to fill in these little roles because it's not a huge company. You don't have a lot of extra people, right? So kind of to the side, you're both like taking off the Reaper stuff and like getting ready because you guys are up next. So you're like getting your stuff ready.
Mm-hmm.
But
retouching up my face paint.
right, yeah, I have to touch that up. And then up comes one of the she's a backstage interviewer and also one of the booking team, Tina Tahini. Who plays kind of like a kind of clueless ditz on camera, but is one of the owners of the company and like kind of a big deal backstage. So she comes up to the two of you who are talking, and she's just like, she's like, I didn't think it was going to work. I really didn't think it was going to work. James, I don't know what whatever Reaper's like real name is, right? But I gotta hand it to you. They really popped for that. That was we try not to do the ultra violence, but that was pretty. That wasn't bad thinking.
Well, you put a hard. Actually, he still in character. Well, you put a hardcore in me in the ring. What else do you expect except for some real dangerous stuff?
She's like, all right, well, Razor, I think that looked a little rough. Are you okay? I just want to make sure that you're not like, we don't want anyone getting hurt. Like this is the beginning of our big, of all the big arcs. We need to make sure everyone's in good shape.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Yep.
It's like, all right, well, maybe you guys should work out some of those spots a little bit beforehand every once in a while. I know it's all, the art of it, it's crawling in the ring or whatever, but just, I can't afford anyone getting hurt right now, okay?
Small company, we don't have a lot of room for that. But I'll show them a new move for next time.
All right. Then she turns around and slaps Bolt on the back. She's like, all right, kid, are you ready?
Yeah. Let's do this.
All right. Well, you guys go get set up over there. I'll be there in a second. We're back in 30. She goes off to get her mic. So on camera, we come back from commercial, and we cut right to the backstage little vignette setup. And Tina Tahini and her on-camera, persona with Mike, talking to Bolt's the only one in the shot right now. She's like,
Oh, okay.
It's like, Bolt, everyone remembers your performance last year and how close you came to winning the Journeyman's Cup. what's your mindset like coming into this first round match against one of the hottest, most intriguing new performers we've had in a long time, the blind man himself? Where's your head at right now?
Well, you know, Tina, I've been thinking about this a lot because I came so close last time. I could taste it before it was all taken away from me. And then the blind man. Oh, he's really good. He knows what he's doing in the ring. And I don't think this is going to be an easy match, but that's perfect because this is the match where I'll prove myself to all my doubters. This is the match where I'll show everybody that I've got what it takes to go all the way this time. So everybody who says no, they'll know what's coming to them. They'll know that Bolt's the real deal.
Awesome. I'm going to have to awkwardly pause for like 30 seconds as there's something dog-related. I will be right back. Sorry, everyone.
Good luck with the dog.
Yeah, that was an awesome match. That was super fun.
The thing is, like, I never really had a reason to put anyone over because I kind of wanted Razor to get hurt, and Strash was having such a good job having Reaper throw him around. There was no real need for it.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know. Like, I wasn't trying to work real stiff. It seems like we've actually got like a pretty good backstage. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we're not necessarily friends, but we at least have like a professional working relationship going on here. So.
Yeah, I think if I was to throw in like backstage off camera, I think I would probably encourage the Razor to take more high risk and try to work real stiff against you. Like, it's the only way you're gonna win anything because the thing is, Professor Tomo doesn't like either of those guys. He's like, you guys have no respect for me. I hope you beat each other senseless and get out of the ring.
So I have a question about announcing. Are we announcing as our wrestling personas or as the like faux wrestlers?
So usually, I don't know. I have a note from last time. We had like a Tim, Allen, and an Alan. So you can totally announce as a wrestler, but frequently, particularly if you have heels, they'll come down and they'll try and make fun of people. Like they'll just sit in at the wrestling table. So I guess you can do either.
Okay.
The professor clearly announces as his persona.
yeah, you don't have to. It's up to you.
I've done it both ways. The advantage to using someone that's not a wrestler is then you can be afraid and not actually feel like you're betraying your persona.
Right.
So if you're playing Joe Blow, 5'0" guy, and you encounter the Reaper, then it's a whole lot easier to play up how intimidating and scary the Reaper is.
Right,
Whereas with the Professor, obviously I'm not doing that as much. And part of the reason I played him was because I just wanted a better hold on his personality because I'm still kind of developing it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but that was a fun match. I would have paid money to see that match.
That is the best praise one can receive.
Oh, here, let me send you.
I would pay $9.99 to watch that on the internet.
By the way, hi Strash. I never get to play with you. It's the magic of the internet. Yay!
Strash, you're muted.
I said, I think the first match of this, or first game of this you played was actually with me at one of our PA events, right?
Yep, I was El Vaquero. I was, I played it. Yeah. He was a high flyer who played a guitar on his way out to the ring, and then he had everyone cheering. And then the hardcore took his guitar and El Kabonged him.
Well, yeah, that's.
But the best part of that match for me was like I got the hardcore on the Spanish announcers table, and then I had a ladder in the center of the ring and went up and did the human highlight reel from a ladder in the center of the ring onto the Spanish announcers table. And I actually made the roll, and I was like, yes!
Take that, Spanish announcers table!
Yes!
Nice. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
Welcome back, Nathan.
Yay! So, okay, so, sorry, that was a great promo. Go ahead and roll for kind of promo.
Right, cut a promo. So that's plus look, right?
Yep.
And my look is 1. And can you guys see my... Oh, you can. Oh, I rolled a 12.
Oh, you guys are on fire tonight. No, it's
Killing it! Great promo.
so you gain 1 momentum.
I gain a momentum, and I pick one from the 7 to 9 list.
Yes.
Well, okay, I'll gain another momentum. I'll just take some momentum for when I rolls stopping 6s.
Awesome. Right. I think that's when the camera kind of backs up, and the blind man appears in the shot, kind of like was waiting just off camera, basically, right? Blind man Simon. So, in my head, maybe you have the blindfold on, right? And are you like looking off into the distance, or are you like looking at?
I am looking straight at Bolt.
Okay.
And I say, I know you're not going to take this. I know you're not going to take this chance, but it's your first chance. Your first chance to give in now and prevent what's coming to you. So how about it, Bolt? You going to be smart? You going to stop here?
Nathan, I think you're...
Yeah, sorry. So Tina's like, are you offering Bolt a chance to give up this match before you even wrestle? Is that what Bolt? Is that something you're even willing to entertain the thought of?
I say we go at this right here, right now. Forget the ring. We started right now.
Nice. What does Blind Man do in response to that?
I say, well,
Did we lose you?
I've warned you.
Oh, there you
And with that, I turn around and walk away.
are. So the camera comes back to Tina. She just like looks like befuddled. She's like, and then she's like looking back and forth. And so I'm seeing, so that the camera cuts and it comes out to the ring, and that's when and Blind Man, like as if continuing that walk, just comes like strolling out onto the
Entrance ramp.
upper ramp area from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
And maybe
My
that
music
like,
plays. It's a cover of "Not to Touch the Earth" by The Doors, but with whispered lyrics so that Jim Morrison's voice doesn't overpower everything. And the lights go out as I walk in, and they flash a couple of times as I'm walking down the walkway towards the ring. And they go on for a final time once I've arrived in the ring and I have taken off my robe, but I have not removed my blindfold, and there's a microphone in my hand.
Awesome. Are you going to continue? Do you have more to say at this point?
Yeah, I think I'm going to address the audience here. I'm going to say, you have all come to see this tournament, to see who wins the Journeyman's Cup. And quite frankly, I already know who's going to win. I can tell you that the one who wins this cup will be the most important wrestler in worldwide wrestling history, because terrible things are coming. and they are the ones who will stop them. He who wins this cup is the one who will stop them. And it is. And I can also tell you that the one who wins this cup is certainly not going to be my opponent.
Nice. Go ahead and go ahead and roll for cutting a promo there. I think rolling that all together into one big promo, pretty much, pretty sweet.
All right, that is 5 plus 2 is 7.
All right, made it. Cool. So you can make me book you into another match if you wanted. You could add a stipulation to this match: gain a momentum or gain a heat with Bolt.
I am going to gain a heat.
Good. So yeah, so you cut this like weird doomsaying promo, right? And I think the crowd, the crowd's like they're just generally always excited to see you because you're so weird. But I think they might be a little confused at this point because there was such a big hot match, and then like you're kind of bringing it like your tone is bringing it down a little bit, so not really sure how to feel. So there's weird murmurs and like some cheers, but there's nothing really to like chant for or anything. And then that's when Bolt's music hits for his entrance.
Right. And my music is Dragon Force. It's just like super. It like pumps up the energy level all the way up again.
Right. Yeah. So it just jacks all of a sudden.
Yeah. Just like it. Yeah. After the mute, it's just like a huge contrast to what just happened. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of pyro, not much, and then I appear on the entrance ramp, just like jumping around. I'm like barely walking. I'm almost like I'm hardly on air. I'm hardly on the ground. I'm almost like bunny hopping. And as I get into the ring, I'll climb all 4 turnbuckles without using any of my hands, and then just like do one of these on top, and then like somersault back into the ring. I'll do that to all 4 turnbuckles.
Awesome.
And I'll just spend the rest of my time like by the time my music done, like I'm like bouncing off all the ropes, just like running back and forth.
Nice. Cool. So we're gonna go to Strash to be the announcer, the official announcer for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a match that you're not going to want to miss. Check out those moves by Bolt. And what are we going to make of that creepy prediction made by the blind man? Professor, what do you think about this?
Well, the blind man's preternatural powers of prescience are really beyond the kenning of any kind of science, wrestling or non. But I will say this. I believe there's a fair shot of science winning the day.
Thank you for that insight, Professor. And now, back to the match.
I love the idea of wrestling science. It's the best. Cool. I think, let's see. I think we'll start with Bolt having control of the match. As he kind of, rampaged in, bringing up the energy level. So okay. How does this match start?
So both of us start circling the ring, staring daggers into one another's eyes. And the match starts with basically both of us exactly copying one another's moves. So both of us go for a shin kick. Both of us go for another shin kick. We both do a drop kick. And then we both stand up and guard at one another. And we're exactly copying one another's move, and none of us is actually hitting anything because we're perfectly countering it.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Do you still have your as part of your deal that do you still have the blindfold on, Adams, or do you have to take it off to wrestle, or is it part of your thing that
I think I've taken it off if I'm able to do that because I can't really see with it on.
Okay. So
I must have taken it off by this point.
Logistically, you do have to take it off to wrestle.
Yeah, he's actually not Daredevil.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys are matching each other move for move.
Mm-hmm.
what is this building up to for you, Bolt?
I mean, I think I just want the audience to know that, like, at the end of this move, like, we'll do a sequence of moves. Like, I'll Irish whip him, he'll Irish whip me. I'll come off the rope, I'll give him a clothesline, and he'll duck, and then we both run off, and we both cross body and are both on the floor.
Yeah.
So it's like a 1-for-1, like.
Yeah, we both like come and like we both hit this way, and then we both fall down. So
All right,
we'll
let's-
just,
What a close match! Look at these two! Such athleticism! They are so evenly matched! Who knows what the outcome will be?
Awesome. So it sounds like you're working with your opponent to make this memorable counter sequence happen, right? So you're going to go ahead and roll plus heat with.
yes, and our heat happens to be 4 because the audience digs our relationship.
Oh right, because you guys have been ripping off of each other for.
Yeah, we've been going like this is something that people have waited to see.
Mhm.
And I rolled a 9 plus 4 is 13.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Would you like? Well, you can't gain any more heat with them because you're already at 4. So.
I'm already at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll gain 2 momentum, and I'll give it off to. I'll voluntarily give it off to, Adams to take over narration.
Cool.
All right.
And I'll take that momentum. That was fun.
Yeah.
So we both get up at around the same time. The ref has counted to 2, waiting for us to get up.
Yeah, he starts to double count because you're both just like.
We're both down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you come swinging at me, and now I stop mirroring you. And as you're coming at me with a huge telegraphed punch, I dodge out of the way, and that's perfectly to be expected. But you were using it to what's the word here? To feint, and you've got a hidden second punch with your left hand, but I dodged that one too. And you keep striking and striking, and each one I know exactly where it's coming. The real reason for this is that we practiced this a lot beforehand, but I'm just dodging and dodging and dodging, and finally I crouch to the ground and I grab your leg and I flip you down onto the ground.
Awesome.
And I think that I am demonstrating my character through my actions.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're like with your prescience of knowing how he moves. Awesome. Yeah. So you're rolling plus look for the wrestling move.
All
You
right.
can see Blind Man here using his extra resistance. He's developing it over the years up in the Tibetan mountains so that he would be ready for this day when the rivalry rose to its most furious peak.
All right. I got an 11, so I am going to retain control of the match and get +1 heat with Bolt.
Awesome. Yeah. So the every time by the time you finish the sequence, every time he goes for a strike, like the audience is like, and then you dodge it, and they're like, and then you have him down on the mat at the end. Are you going for like a submission or something, or is this where is this going?
Yeah. Okay. I am going to put him into a submission hold that involves having him face down, and I don't know my submission hold, so
That's okay.
So it involves grabbing his arms and pulling them up behind him so that his back kind of cracks and his shoulders are pulled up. And
I think that's called
when
a
I do this, it's
horn.
called blind man's bluff.
Oh, okay.
Blind man's bluff. Nice. So you're like Are you kind of like sitting, like kind of
Yeah,
like
I'm
sitting on his
sitting
legs?
like on the back of his legs and pulling him up.
Yeah. So it's like a weird like modified camel clutch or something.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me in my head. Awesome. So yeah, so you're pulling him back in the submission hold. How does Bolt react to being submitted like this?
Um, well, I'm screaming, and I mean, my hands are held back, but I'm trying to twist my legs in various ways to try and, like, give him a toe grab or something like that, but I can't. So I'm just like, ah, and, like, my hands are kind of coming close to tapping, but I'm like, no, 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 no.
All right. So Adams, go ahead and roll plus work, because this is a very wrestling-y kind of thing that you're executing this maneuver on him.
Sure. In fact, it's something that Dr. Atamo has been teaching me behind the scenes. Oh,
Using
so
wrestling science.
11 minus 1 is 10.
Guys,
Yeah, we having some good rolls
you
here.
guys you're having a great night. No, it's good. It means everything's going really, really well. For now. Cool. So, are you
So
gonna take additional heat or keep the momentum?
I am going to take the +2 momentum, and
All right.
unless the
is
match is
not
booked to end right now, I'm going to pass off control and slip and let him out of it.
cool. Um,
So close, so close! It almost looked as if he had him, but I guess Bolt is not quite done. Quick as lightning, he's out of that hold. Will our blind wrestler trained by Tibetan wrestling monks win?
It's hard to say. They're both top athletes here. Although Bolt's taking quite a beating. Not quite equal to the one I gave him a year ago, but still pretty bad.
nice. Cool. So yeah, Bolt, it is to you. What's your how do you reset from this this hold?
Yeah, well, so he eventually he gives up the. I mean, I managed to, like, squeak by under him, but he's still on top of me. So he lifts me up. He Irish whips me to a rope, but as I'm going on the rope, I leap off the second rope and do, like, a moonsault. So I'm landing on top of him.
Nice.
So
Yeah, you're going up for a big.
I'm going up for a big.
Top rope, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's off the, like, he's not throwing me at a turnbuckle, so I'm just gonna jump off the ropes itself. Yeah. So I guess this is the high flying maneuver.
Yeah, sure is. Roll plus work.
Ah, that's 9 plus work 2 is 11.
It looks awesome. You guys are just like hitting on all cylinders. You have, crowds into it. They want to see you guys go at each other. You're hitting all your moves great. It's awesome.
I think I just triggered my human highlight reel because I attempted a high flying maneuver and I rolled 10 plus. So I guess my audience goes up to 3.
Yeah, so your audience goes up. You hit this moonsault like, it's a picture perfect. It's going to be it's going into the pre-show video montage.
Right.
The package.
Awesome. Yeah, the video package. All right, so you hit him with the moonsault. The ref counts 2, and he kicks out because it's not the finish of the match.
And I'm just like, ah.
And the crowd's like, they're also like, and they started doing the like 1, 2. They're counting along with the ref, and then a blind man kicks out.
A moonsault off the second rope while he's still being held. We haven't seen this kind of wrestling since, well, the championship match last year. What do you think, Professor, of this quality wrestling?
It's not real wrestling, I tell you. The second your feet are off the mat, you are by definition an acrobat and not a wrestler.
I'm sorry, guys.
And he doesn't like that either.
Even the dog agrees.
Are you guys by ringside on commentary?
Yeah, or at least like maybe just like very nearby. Yeah, probably like in the
Okay.
first couple of rows. We're definitely within sight of what you guys are doing.
Okay, because this might be a good time for like Professor Otomo and I to build some heat. Because we clearly don't like one another. At least our persona.
We're not being a real wrestler.
Yeah, our personae don't match at all. So this will be fun.
Well, I can hook you up on that by doing a run-in.
You are also taking the mic and speaking your mind. Like,
Yeah.
you do that a little bit stronger, and it might be cutting a promo.
Are you thinking of getting involved in this match here?
You know, I feel like I've been running the mics a lot, and I'm happy with that level of involvement with it. But it was his idea to build the heat. Sure, I'll do a run-in. I'll go ahead because he's going up for the moonsault. Like slams down the pipe and it's like, it's not real wrestling. And he's just gonna knock his feet out from under him.
So good. I was thinking that something you might get a directive over the headset to get involved. Actually, also makes total sense.
Yep.
Awesome. So you're so sorry. So are you? So is Bolt going up for another moonsault, basically?
Yeah, I'll go up for I'll go up to the top rope and I'll point at him. Like I'll say something that you can't hear over the cameras and I'll point at Professor Otomo. And then like as I'm turning my focus back towards the blind man,
Who is staggering away.
then he pulls my feet out from under me or something.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you get involved there, Professor? Yank him?
Yeah, I think he does. He slams down the pipe like the same. They do a little bit of an exchange where they're pointing and yelling, and he just slams down the pipe and comes over. And as he's like going up and kind of working the crowd, getting ready for the moonsault, the professor actually just comes up and he slams his arm across his legs to drop him down into the turnbuckle.
Nice.
Oh, I land like on the turnbuckle, I guess. My butt on the turnbuckle.
On the chest, yeah.
All right. Well, you are interrupting a match in progress. Roll plus heat with Bolt.
All right. Yep, and I'm the guy who can't make the goddamn roll. All right, sorry the language.
I got you.
That's all right.
I got you. I'm gonna put him over actually.
All right.
So I think this is where the announcer totally goes, oh, what is this? The scientist wrestler is running in? Now he's an announcer wrestler? Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented. The professor was brought back for his knowledge of wrestling. He was supposed to announce ringside and bring his wisdom to the ages, but he has thrown his hat in the ring! Look at that move!
That's great.
Announcing science is very difficult.
Announcing
Wrestling
science
science is a lot
actually,
easier.
You have to get a different doctorate actually to do announcing science.
Yeah. As opposed to wrestling science.
Right, wrestling science is only like
if you know regular science, it's just like a correspondence course. But announcing science, you go back to class.
That's
You gotta get a special writer.
awesome. Okay, so that bumps it up to the 7 to 9. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I up my momentum, and now my target apparently gets to choose something.
So Bolt, you get to choose either Professor gets beaten down in the ring, or Creative books you and the Professor in a match, or is the blind man going to come after the Professor for costing him this match?
I think it'll be cool if Blind Man goes after the Professor. Because
I think so, too.
we might be able to get a triple threat going or something.
Yeah. So Professor comes up and shoves you off, right? And they ring the bell, and in the so they ring the bell, and you go. Do you go down in the ring? Do you go roll out?
Yeah,
of the ring?
I land on the turnbuckle and eventually like do a little somersault and end up like on the ring, like on my back, just like clutching myself in pain.
All right. And so blind man. So this means that you have just had the match lost for you, because Bolt wins by DQ for getting attacked, right? Because the professor's on your side in wrestling logic. So how do you react to this circuit?
I've actually got a question first. The tournament, the Journeyman's Cup. How does that actually work? Does like my loss mean something related to that, or is it just kind of
Yeah,
made
it
up?
would mean you don't advance to the next round.
Okay, it's single elimination.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
So I mean, and so fictionally, by the move that was the result that was picked, you're gonna go after him.
yeah. Is it all right if I interpret that as grabbing a mic and yelling at him?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to go down. I am going to grab a mic from wherever I might grab a mic from.
There's always a mic available, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I say, "You fool! Do you know what you've done? Because of you, Bolt is going to win the cup. Bolt, have you seen him? Can you imagine him fighting off what's to come? I can't even talk about it. You have doomed this promotion, Professor Atamo."
That's not true! Impossible!
Nice.
I think after the Journeyman's Cup, like xenomorphs are gonna attack or something. Like this sounds really bad.
It's
Yes,
gonna
and,
be,
Reaper might work on Razor, and Razor might be the new threat.
yeah. You guys are the dark forces.
Right.
Also, I like that Blind Man's whole thing is like, it's gonna be Bolt. Have you seen that guy? That guy stinks.
There's no way he can do it.
No way he's gonna win.
Cool. So I think what happens here, right, is I think this actually is a good place to wrap up for this, because we have, Bolt's over on the outside. You're like holding your head, like, oh, like what's going on? And the ref comes over and lifts your hand. Like, here's your winner.
Yeah, I'm barely paying attention to that.
Right.
I'm just like, oh.
And then in the ring, we have Professor and Blind Man just like staring each other down.
Bolt and I both get +1 audience, I think, because we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
+4 heat with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that takes me to audience 4.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the High Flyer is a heat magnet.
Well, it's only because I was going up against Blind Man, who
Right.
everybody wanted to see.
Right. Which is
Except
awesome.
I've heard
so-
from a guy backstage that guy stinks.
Hot and cold.
He is in no way going to be able to stop the zombie apocalypse after the Journeyman's Cup.
Okay. So we'll deal with that in a second. So, Jason, do you have anything you wanted to throw into this? You have this stare down across the ring?
I think that he gets the whole thing about it, and the professor has been buying in as far as the fiction goes into the blind man's powers.
Right.
And he's so his response is like, "It's not possible. He's not a real wrestler, and it will not happen on my watch, I tell you." So he's in denial of it. He's like, "No, it's not going to happen." So yeah, I think that's where that is.
Yeah,
I
I
beat
think
him once. I can do it again.
Right. I hope you're okay with that as not actually getting in a match tonight.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But I think it kind of like makes sense and also is in our kind of time horizon. Like 2 hours is kind of all I have for for internet games. Like just mentally. Yeah,
Sorry, I like working a mic, so I got more than my fair share of that tonight. So
Well, I know
that's
it's
fair.
awesome because I think it sets up you guys for some great stuff. So yeah, so the last like shot, right, is like the two of you staring at each other across the ring, and the while Bolt's having his hand raised in victory behind you, and so awesome. Cut to end credits. So mechanic stuff. So we have a +4 audience, which means you get an advance.
Yeah.
I think you're the first one to hit +4. So the other thing doesn't apply.
Second, actually. I got the +4 because I was at 4 heat, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You did get to
So
both.
I hit my 4, and then we flip-flopped over.
Right.
So I would be at 3.
And now you're at 3. You guys in advance. Awesome. It's cool. And I kind of feel like, do you guys feel like this kind of fictionally, we kind of came in almost at the end of a feud with the two of you, with Blind Man and Bolt.
Right.
From how everything was kind of organized from the questions. And now it looks like it's gonna spin off into, this other thing. Now it's Blind Man and the Professor, and then like Bolt's gonna go off into the tournament scene. So
yeah, it almost seems like they're starting a personal rivalry, and like me and Blind Man are kind of done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this is an example of you look for when feuds kind of wrap up satisfactorily, if that's a word, in a satisfying manner, which means
I just say well.
Yes, that wraps up well. Which means that both of you guys get an advance for wrapping it up, but you also drop your heat with each other back down to +1 because, like, we kind of saw your thing.
Right.
Now we're excited to see you go do other things now.
Okay.
Were there any other audience or advancement things at that time? I don't think so.
Just not.
And
So
cool.
would I end up getting 2 advances, and then Adams gets 1 and Strauss gets 1?
Yes, that's where I think we're at.
Cool.
Man, Bolt coming in stealing the show.
Yeah, seriously.
Like everything was set up for me to just do this. It was kind
Well,
of
that's what happens when you. Well, first of all, the high flyer is an audience magnet. Like their moves are organized around just getting lots of heat and lots of audience. So that's fine.
That's all right. There's no way that dude will be able to hold off the killer monkey flu.
I know.
Or whatever's coming.
I imagine
I'm
that
ill prepared.
Yeah, when
Everybody's
the
behind
internet-
me. They're just gonna see me fail. It's gonna be glorious.
The Red Dawn-esque invasion of insert other country here.
Right. Okay.
I imagine the internet doesn't even think it's booked out that far, but they're wondering whether whether I actually know the booking,
Right.
whether he's actually going to win.
They're like, all right, well, he wore red trunks, so does that mean that it's like communists? Like they're looking for clues, like the little like details that are just meaningless.
Reddit's filled with people being like, no, that's the wrong interpretation. I got the right one.
We were like, why do you even think they have an idea of where they're going? God. So stupid comic book promotion. It's bullshit. Cool.
It's obviously just a tie-in for his new blockbuster movie coming out. He's trying to build hype for that.
Communists and viruses and stuff.
It's where it's going. Cool. So if anyone wants to spend advances on anything, you can, or you can think about it next time. Next time we sync up and you're able to play, if you have some advances, you can spend them at the top of that episode.
I'll just keep it for now.
Cool. And yeah.
As a mechanical question, real quick. So I didn't wrestle with anyone, so I don't gain very much. I gained all of like 1 momentum because I interrupted a match. But at the same time, I feel like I was in a segment with everybody, so I wouldn't cool off from anyone next time, would I? But I don't know.
No, yeah, you were pretty much involved with every other character, I would say.
Okay.
For sure. And and we checked that at the beginning of the next session about like who did you not interact with because he drops. But I think your Jason's gimmick of playing his announcer in character is a good way to keep you involved. You're gaming the system. I like it.
I've got a question. Like, it seems like a lot of the stuff he's doing is taking the mic and speaking his mind. How much of that does he have to do to be cutting a promo?
So for this, how I'm kind of when he's like in the announcer mode, right? Like that kind of supersedes being in his character.
Okay.
Mode. I think it got a little different in the second match when Strash was the announcer, but we still had Dr. Atamo at ringside, right? And that kind of naturally played into being character E. So like I think if you probably had the opportunity to roll for cut a promo in there if you wanted to, but I don't think we lost anything.
Yeah.
I think it worked the way it did, and I think it makes sense that if you're technically announcing, that's what you're doing. So yeah, I think that worked. I think it worked out as far as this went. So it's cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for sticking with me through my canine related issues. Everything's fine. Being annoying.
Canine-related issues was the name of the metal band that I was wearing at the beginning of the show.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we got to get more people this time around. I will do another little post for availability next week and see what we can do. For those of you who follow along at home, thank you very much for viewing, as we had a couple people viewing, and that's awesome. Hope it was fun, educational, and we will continue this storyline along. So we will see you next time for Worldwide Wrestling. Thanks.